Wike allies, thugs take over PDP headquarters as leadership crisis continues. Nigerian army neutralizes 19 bandits in Kano. Resident doctors strike, cripple hospital services. And on the foreign scene, Tanzanian president inaugurated as opposition says hundreds killed in protests. Hello there and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Factional National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party PDP, loyal to the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, on Monday took control of the party's national secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja, deepening the party's leadership crisis. The group, led by the embattled National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, claimed to have suspended acting National Chairman Iliada Magung and replaced him with former Vice Chairman North Central Abdurrahman Mohammed, who now assumes the role in acting capacity. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman has that report.
The tension had been building all morning outside the PDP National Secretariat. Supporters of the Wike-backed faction arrived chanting solidarity songs and demanding Damagun's removal.
As you can see behind me, thugs have already invaded the PDP Secretariat here, Wadata Plaza, chanting Bamai, meaning they are not in support of the current leadership. This is an advanced team, so to speak, while the other leaders of the other faction are on their way to the party secretariat right now, as they say, to take over from the Damagun-led executive.
Moments later, the group forced its way into the building, insisting it had the mandate to reclaim the party from what it called illegitimate leadership. Security operatives eventually intervened, dispersing the crowd. But we found the embattled National Secretary in his office. Shortly after calm returned, the factional acting National Chairman Abdurrahman Mohammed, accompanied by the suspended National Secretary Senator Sam Anyanwu and other factional NWC members, proceeded to the chairman's office to symbolically assume control.
Under my leadership as acting national chairman of our great party, I will do everything possible to make sure that we bring each and every one to discuss and understand why it's very important to put our hands together for the progress of this our great party and Nigeria at large.
As you can see, I've already taken him around the secretariat to show him all the offices, and from there, I'm sure he's going to have a meeting of NWC members for us to forge ahead. So we want to thank our party leaders that our party is intact.
Inside sources say the takeover marks a new phase in the battle for control of the PDP ahead of its planned national convention in Ibadan, now inserting amid the deepening split between the Wike and Damagun camps. As both sides dig in, party insiders warn that without quick reconciliation, the PDP could face its most serious internal fracture since 2015.
The supposed main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, appeared to have been finally decimated. Leadership of the party has been chased out of the party secretariat here at Wadata Plaza, and a factional NWC, led by the acting chairman, that is enjoying the support of the current Minister of FCT, has taken over along with other factional NWC members. Tear gas canisters were fired here, and of course a group of thugs were chased out. This clearly indicates, that the brewing crisis, or rather a renewed, hostilities within the party has just emerged, and of course a threat to the party's scheduled elective national convention on the 15th and 16th of this month in Ibadan. From the Wadata Plaza, Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News.
Many thanks, Shafiu, for that update. Now moving on, Nigeria is once again in America's crosshair. U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to tag the country a country of particular concern and even consider military action has sparked deep unease in Abuja and beyond. It's a move tied to Washington's International Religious Freedom Act, a law meant to defend faith freedoms, but often used as a political tool. Abdullahi Ahmed explains.
Nigeria is once again under America's spotlight. U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to label Nigeria as a country of political concern and even consider military intervention has stirred anxiety across political and security circles. The move draws from the International Religious Freedom Act, which is a U.S.-based law passed back in 1998 to defend global religious freedom. But history shows it is often being used strategically. From Iraq to Sudan, Washington has invoked religion as a moral pretext for deeper political or military goals. The pattern is hard to miss. Where moral outrage meets geopolitical interest, intervention usually follows. For Nigeria, this is a serious moment. Labeling the country as a religious violator risks reducing complex security issues like terrorism, banditry, and communal conflict into a shallow Christian versus Muslim narrative. That framing ignores the real problems, which could include poverty, weak governance, and regional neglect. Politically, this puts President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a tight spot. He must defend Nigeria's sovereignty without isolating the country diplomatically. The replacement of the service chiefs couldn't have come at a better time, whether it is to avert a coup scare or strengthen control of the security architecture. It signals that the government is recalibrating for whatever comes next. Socially, Trump's remarks have already deepened division. Online debates show a split between Nigerians who see America as a savior and those who see this as another episode of foreign meddling. Either way, the narrative is shifting and Nigeria's government will have to manage it carefully. Economically, the risk is clear. The CPC label could trigger sanctions, affect U.S. aid, and discourage investment in a country already battling inflation, food insecurity, and a volatile currency. The timing couldn't be worse. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's planned visit to meet U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance comes at a tense moment for Nigeria-U.S. relations. While the meeting could offer a chance to ease tensions and explain Nigeria's position directly, the absence of Nigerian ambassadors in key Western capitals has left a diplomatic vacuum. If added to the list, Nigeria would join countries like Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and China, all accused of religious repression, yet treated differently based on U.S. interest. That inconsistency shows how religion and politics often serve as two sides of the same coin in America's foreign policy. At its core, this isn't just about religion. It is about power and perception. Nigeria must now decide how to tell its own story before others define it. Because once Washington puts a label on you, history shows it rarely comes off.
In the meantime, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Larry Issa Onilu, has dismissed claims of genocide against Christians in Nigeria, describing the country's current situation as a challenge of insecurity and banditry, rather than targeted religious persecution. His reaction follows a post by U.S. President Donald Trump on social media in which Trump alleged that Christianity faces an existential threat in Nigeria, claiming that thousands of Christians have been killed by radical Islamists. Noel Sampson has more on that.
Speaking at the monthly National Joint Security Press Briefing in Abuja, Issa Onilu urged the United States to reevaluate its intelligence sources, saying past assessments have often been inaccurate.
This is not the first time that the intelligence of the United States has failed America. It failed them in Iraq. It turned out that there was no weapon of mass destruction, and they apologized. It failed them in Libya and many other instances. So I'm sure this is another error in intelligence gathering. So what we have in this country is challenge of insecurity, of terrorists, of bandits, of kidnappers. And that's what we are responding to.
The briefing also addressed issues surrounding recovery and redistribution of seized assets, including the 750 housing units recovered from former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, as well as efforts to expose individuals financing terrorism in Nigeria.
753 properties in the local Goma axis of Abuja, that was forfeited to the government December 10, 2024. After the final resolution of the matter, that is the final forfeiture of those properties, government directed that the commission should hand over all of those properties to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. And we acted accordingly. All of those properties, they have been handed over to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, and they are being remodeled, they are being reconfigured.
It's an indication that Nigeria has had a pass mark from the Financial Action Task Force, which is a global watchdog for AML CFT framework. So it's an indication that, of course, the intelligence agencies are doing very well in terms of handling issues related to terrorism financing, anti-corruption, and so on and so forth.
Meanwhile, security agencies recorded notable progress in October, with arrests rising by 33%, 27 victims rescued, and a 12% record in violent crime deaths. Cross-border operations nearly doubled, while arms seizures remained high. Anti-corruption efforts also intensified, as the ICPC recorded over 840 million naira and $919,000, while the EFCC under Ola Olukayode recovered 566 billion naira and $411 million. On its part, NAFDAC seized 70 containers of fake products, while the NDLA dismantled 14 major drug syndicates and immigration rescued 76 victims of human trafficking. Overall, enforcement actions increased by 28%, signaling a strategic shift towards preventive and citizens-focused security operations. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In a similar vein, a diplomat, Ambassador Suleiman Dahiru, says the federal government ought to have engaged the United States government early enough with the right information on the alleged genocide claim in Nigeria. Speaking on Trust TV's current affairs program, 30 Minutes, Dahiru noted that such engagement will have given the federal government an opportunity to present facts to the U.S. and dispel rumors of mass killings of Christians in the country. He was speaking against the backdrop of recent allegations by U.S. President Donald Trump, who claimed that Christians in Nigeria are facing an existential threat due to mass killings by terrorists, and his threat to deploy troops to Nigeria if nothing is done to protect them.
The fire has been lit and it is burning. What you need to do is to quench the fire.
And how do you do that?
And how do you quench the fire? You quench the fire by doing what you ought to have done a long time ago, which you didn't do.
Which is what?
That is, you engage the American government, you engage the American Senate, giving them all the facts about what have been going on in Nigeria. You dispel the issue of genocide. No genuine Muslim, no serious Muslim will ever take his knife and slaughter a fellow Muslim or slaughter a Christian. That is not what we learned in Islam. And that is why I say those people are misguided. In fact, to me, they are not Muslims.
And away from reactions on alleged genocide, troops of the Joint Task Force Operation MESA under the Nigerian Army's 3 Brigade have stopped an attack on some villages in Shanono local government area of Kano State, killing 19 armed bandits in the process. According to the army, the operation happened on Saturday evening after soldiers received intelligence that gunmen were heading towards Ungwartudu, Ungwartsamia and Gorandusa communities. Captain Babatunde Zubairu, the Assistant Director of Army Public Relations for the 3 Brigade, said in a statement that the troops, together with other security agencies, moved quickly to intercept the attackers. He also confirmed that 2 soldiers and 1 local vigilante lost their lives during the operation. Captain Zubairu added that security forces were still combing the area to ensure safety and to prevent further attacks, especially in villages that have suffered from cattle rustling and banditry. As the nationwide strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) enters its 3rd day, operations at the Federal Teaching Hospital Katsina have been severely disrupted. The state's largest referral hospital is currently offering only critical services at the Accident and Emergency Unit, Intensive Care Unit, Pediatric Ward, Maternity Unit and Dialysis Center, while other departments remain shut down. This development has forced hundreds of patients to vacate the hospital, worsening their conditions, heightening caregivers' frustrations, and overburdening the few health personnel still on duty. Abdullahi Yamadi has more on that.
The usually bustling hospital now wears a deserted look. Areas that were once crowded, such as the outpatient department (OPD) and laboratories, stand empty. Even in the few units still functioning, most patients have been evacuated, leaving behind deserted wards and corridors. The ongoing NARD strike has plunged patients and caregivers into untold hardship, with many passionately appealing for urgent government intervention.
The situation here is pathetic. Many patients evacuated from this facility cannot afford treatment at private hospitals. We sincerely appeal to the federal government to address the root causes of this strike and rescue the patients. Many patients who left the hospital are now lying helplessly at home in severe pain with no place to turn for help. Something urgent needs to be done. Resolving this crisis without further delay is the only option.
We have witnessed patients dying here since the strike began about 3 days ago due to lack of adequate care. This calls for immediate action by the federal government to end this unfortunate situation. Although the strike is still ongoing, the hospital has made arrangements to care for patients with critical conditions. As you can see, our patient is gradually recuperating. The Federal Teaching Hospital Katsina, which has about 400 resident doctors, now depends on barely 100 consultants, along with a few nurses and health workers handling only emergency cases. Health personnel say they are overstretched and have been forced to refer patients to state-owned facilities like Ture Eradua Hospital for continued care.
So I will still admit those children that are critically ill. I still admit them and manage them. Those ones that go beyond at least what we can cope with, or try and stabilize and then refer to where they can get better services for now. So but it is, we are trying as much as possible to ensure that we will maintain the service. It's not easy.
Even this now we have 3 admissions. Yes, 2 from the MESF, referral from the MESF. So 1 is from Mudru. The diagnosis is suspected diphtheria. So now they are admitted. So that's what I can say in terms of this strike nationwide.
In a swift response, the Chief Medical Director CMD of the hospital, Dr. Nasir Aliu, called for coordinated efforts to resolve the strike, assuring that management is working round the clock to sustain critical operations.
We try as much as possible. The consultants are working hard to see that critical patients are still attended to. As you know, we have a lot of patients undergoing dialysis. All these services are still available. We are the only center in Kano State that have functional special care baby units. When you go around, you see that all these units are still functioning. But I can't tell you that they are functioning up to optimal. But we are doubling the effort with the hope that this impasse can, within the shortest possible time, be overcome. I know the government is seriously engaging the NAD members, and they have shown a lot of commitments. I know almost everybody has received a lot of arrears for almost 4 months, including myself, because I'm a worker of the hospital.
Despite his optimism, Dr. Aliu acknowledged that only prompt action from the federal government can restore full medical services and bring relief to the hundreds of patients affected by the strike. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And in a related development, the Zamfara State branch of the National Association of Resident Doctors has vowed to discipline members sabotaging the comprehensive and total strike, which entered its 3rd day on Monday. The chairman of the association, Dr. Ibrahim Dauran, issued the warning while speaking with journalists who were at the Federal Medical Center to monitor the situation. Dr. Dauran said the leadership is enforcing the strike to ensure total and comprehensive action to push the government to accede to its 19-point demands. He appreciated the cooperation of members complying with the directive of the national body of the association, but warned that anyone found sabotaging the industrial action will face disciplinary action.
But our demand, 19 demand, has long overdue. Over 2 years, these are demands that have stayed. Some of them is not more than 2 years, some of them is more than 7 years, and the government has not responded. Earlier this year, we have given a warning strike of more than 3, 4, 5 months ago. We have given a warning strike of 1 week, where it looked like the government, the only language that the government can understand is for us to down to. Prior to the commencement of this strike, we have given an ultimatum of 30 days. And the government is not there to respond. I think if there is sincerity of purpose, the government should have done something within that 30 days. Not going to be any compromise until that 19 demand has been met. The demands is well known to everybody in the nation. One is about issue of excessive working hours, whereby a doctor will stay for 48, 72 hours on duty. As such, we have lost a lot of doctors. More than 5 doctors that have lost their life. And once you lose your life, it cannot be, you cannot come back.
3rd day of the strike, and the strike has been total, indefinite, and comprehensive. Like my president said, you came in, and then you can see that there's no doctor around. And then we are ensuring, doing everything possible, that all our members comply with this strike. And I'm here today with my president, and then some few members are also going to be joining us to go around the hospital. We are going to go to each department to make sure that this strike is total. We don't want a sabotaging the strike. We don't want anything that's going to compromise what NAD is fighting for. And I can assure you that our resident doctors in this chapter, they are very law abiding. We spoke to them, sent memorandum, sent them letters, and spoke to them in their private chats with our WhatsApp messages, and they assured us of complying with the strike. And so far, so good. For these past 3 days, the strike has been total.
In another development, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has faulted the federal government's recent statement on doctors' welfare, describing it as misleading and inconsistent with realities in the health sector. In a rejoinder issued on Monday, the association said the Ministry of Health's claim of improved welfare and industrial harmony do not reflect the true situation faced by medical professionals across the country. NAD said it has 19 outstanding demands that have been repeatedly presented to the government, including unpaid allowances, promotion arrears, and salary backlogs, some dating back more than 5 years. The group also criticized bureaucratic delays in promotions and persistent salary shortfalls of up to 100,000 in the October payroll, calling for a dedicated health sector payroll platform. While acknowledging the release of 10.6 billion naira for the Medical Residency Training Fund, NAD stressed that the fund is a statutory right, not a privilege, and called for transparent and timely disbursement. The association further challenged government claims of recruiting 35,000 health workers in 2 years, demanding data on how many are doctors and where they were posted. Now, away from that, in Lagos, the Lagos State Police Command has declared activist Omoyele Sowore wanted for allegedly plotting to disrupt public peace over the ongoing demolition exercise in Owarong, Shoki. Authorities claim Sowore was coordinating a protest that could have caused major traffic congestion and heightened tension across the state. The report.
The State Commissioner of Police, Oluwadari Jimoh, said Sowore is being accused of organizing plans to block sections of 3rd Mainland Bridge, describing the move as a calculated attempt to cause hardship for residents, commuters and visitors in Lagos.
I hereby, as the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Police Command, declare Sowore wanted. I declare him wanted for the act of causing disturbance of public peace and an act to commit serious felony by planning and putting all the plan in motion to obstruct traffic on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, to cause hardship for Lagosians and other Nigerians, and especially visitors who are transiting through this end. We will not allow this to happen. These are the equipment, and we ensure that we are closing in on him anywhere he is. He should be aware that we are closing on him. We learned he's doing video and he couldn't come down. Let him come down. He came down in Abuja. Why is he afraid to come down in Lagos? He should come down. He should come down. Wherever he is, he should report himself to the nearest police station, because I'm going to arrest him and investigate him and prosecute him.
The CP said the command has arrested 13 individuals in connection with plans to stage a protest in Oworoshoki, adding that suspects are nothing but miscreants who would not be allowed to incite violence or disrupt public order.
We have made 13 arrests of this miscreant and hoodlum because there's no any reason why this protest must take place. The people who are concerned, who are residents of Oworoshoki, have been paid compensation by government for those who deserve, who are entitled rather to the compensation they've been done. And the people have remained in peace and they've been living in the peace in the community. But it's coming to Lagos to instigate crisis, to instigate violence will not be tolerated.
In a video posted on his X handle, Omoyele Sowore said police attacked peaceful protesters during the Oworoshoki anti-demolition protest.
I think they had intelligence that I was approaching the place as you see capture. They were just tear gassing them, and they brought in more reinforcement. All of them were carrying lethal weapons. This is what we're talking about Nigeria at this time. The police that ought to be protecting the citizens of Nigeria are busy chasing after and attacking innocent civilians.
A resident of Oworoshoki told reporters fear and uncertainty continue to grip the community.
See my eyes. See my eyes. I cannot sleep. No, you cannot eat. You cannot sleep because I don't have where I am going to. Again, I don't have where I'm going to. I rested my life in Oworo. I've been here for years. I've been in Oworo for years. Please, government should come to our aid. I don't know what is happening. At this age, I don't know. Particularly who is stopping us. Who is stopping this country? Who is stopping Oworo? I don't know. Everything was so dark that you cannot know who is stopping this country. We don't know. At this age, we're supposed to know who is our troubler. But nobody knows who is stopping us now. We just know we are troubled. We are perplexed. We cannot eat. Children cannot go to school.
As tension builds in Oroshoki, the police are urging residents to remain calm and law-abiding, assuring that measures are in place to maintain peace and protect lives and property.
Now, moving on to other stories, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Josh Amupiton, has assured Nigerians that the forthcoming Anambra State off-circle governorship election will be peaceful, credible, and transparent. According to a statement by INEC on Monday, Professor Amupiton gave the assurance during the signing of the Peace Accord organized by the National Peace Committee, led by former head of state, General Abdusalami Abubakar. He commended the committee for its role in promoting peaceful elections and cautioned that peace accords must go beyond symbolic gestures. Amipiton urged the 16 political parties and their candidates to ensure that the message of peace reaches their supporters at all levels. He also highlighted INEC's preparations for the November 8th, 2025 election, including the deployment of 24,000 personnel across 5,718 polling units and the approval of a final register of 2.8 million eligible voters. On security, the INEC chairman disclosed that the Intra-Agency Consultative Committee on Election Security has instituted robust measures, with the Nigerian Police Force deploying 45,000 personnel and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps assigning 10,250 officers to secure the process. The Bayelsa State Governor, Senator Gov Diri, on Monday pledged to deliver 99% of votes for President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. Diri gave the pledge in Yenagoa at a ceremony to officially welcome him to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. The event attracted dignitaries including Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Tinubu, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and other party faithful. The event marks a major political shift in Bayelsa, a state long considered a stronghold of the People's Democratic Party PDP. Governor Diri resigned from the PDP on the 15th of October 2025 following extensive consultations. Addressing the gathering, the governor promised to unite all to enable the party work together and produce 99% result in Bayelsa come 2027. Still on politics, Governor Uba Sani has formally welcomed a large number of defectors from the People's Democratic Party PDP into the ruling All Progressives Congress APC at the Kafanchan Township Stadium in Jemaah local government area of Kaduna State. The reports.
The Kafanchan Township Stadium filled to capacity as supporters of the ruling APC gathered to receive prominent PDP members who defected to the party from across the southern Kaduna zone. Party leaders from within and outside the state, along with members of both the national and state assemblies, attended the colorful event to welcome the new entrants. President Bola Tinubu, represented by his Chief of Staff, Femi Bajabiamila, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to bringing more development to southern Kaduna.
Every soul, every heart, every person, not just in Kaduna but in southern Kaduna. We all know what obtained in the past, and we know what is obtaining now in the present. Mr. President has asked me to say to you that the best is yet to come.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, described the defection of key political figures as a major boost that consolidates the APC strength in southern Kaduna.
My brothers and sisters, this defection is a message. It is a message that the era of division is over. It is a message that the people of southern Kaduna are ready to move forward with Nigeria's progress.
Governor Obasani, while addressing party supporters, reiterated his commitment to continue demonstrating leadership, unity, and performance, reaffirming his position as one of the Nigeria's most people-oriented governors.
Today is the result of what we have done in the last 2.5 years. I'm happy to announce here that when we came in on May 29, precisely, the number of House of Reps in the opposition political parties were 12. Only 4 members of the House of Reps got elected under our political party, the APC. But today, in the last 2.5 years, 10 members of the House of Reps have become from the opposition political parties to APC.
Among those who joined the APC are serving Senator Sunday Marshall Katun, former Senator Njumala, as well as several serving and former members of both the National and State Assemblies, all accompanied by thousands of their supporters.
We want to thank God for the person of Mr. President. The vision God imbued in him to consider us in southern Kaduna, a neglected community, to bring some form of presence via the establishment of the Federal University of Applied Sciences, which came with a Federal Medical Center and a College of Medicine. There are so many other things that have been envisioned by this administration to be cited in this location.
And all the distinguished guests, the campees, and all our friends in Southern Kaduna, we're here to tell you we welcome everybody in Southern Kaduna and welcome everybody to the APC party.
With the defection of these key figures from Southern Kaduna, the APC says the party in Kaduna State is now stronger and more united than ever.
And away from politics, sugarcane farmers in Kano State say they are witnessing their worst crisis in decades. A sudden pest infestation has wiped out vast farmlands across Kura local government area, threatening thousands of livelihoods and putting the state's thriving sugarcane industry at risk. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim visited the affected communities where a season that began with promise has turned into despair.
Gamadan, a community famous for its lush green sugarcane fields, now looks like a wasteland. What was filmed here 2 months ago was full of life. Today, it is silent and scorched. Stalks that once stood tall and fresh now lie blackened and brittle. Entire plots worth millions of naira have been abandoned. Farmers say the destruction starts from within. The cane looks healthy on the outside, but inside, worms have eaten through the stalks, leaving them useless.
I have never experienced this kind of problem in over 45 years, even before we started using the pumping machine. It's really strange. What I was supposed to harvest is completely burnt by pests. There is nothing to sell and no one will even buy it.
From Gamadan to Dan Hassan, Garinkaya, Kunshama and Tofa, the story is the same. A mysterious worm infestation spreading fast and wiping out farmlands. The ripple effect has already hit the markets. At Dan Hassan, Kano's main sugarcane hub, traders say supply has dropped sharply.
You can see some of the crops here from the market. People won't buy until they are sure they are not infested.
Dealers who still buy say losses are in billions and many farmers can no longer afford to harvest or replant.
Anyone investing about 10 million naira in farming or sugarcane trading will be lucky to make 5 million naira. Farmers are losing billions.
The crisis has drawn the attention of the Sugarcane Farmers and Processors Association, which says it has reported the outbreak to agricultural authorities for urgent investigation and support.
It is very, very devastating. We identified 2 diseases affect there: the red rot and the ratoon stunting. I wrote to the desk officer responsible for the sugarcane at the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and we had been in touch with some other stakeholders as well. But honestly, it is so devastating that only government can come in, at this stage to alleviate the situation.
He says without quick intervention, Kano sugarcane value chain, which feeds hundreds of small processors, could collapse. For farmers who depend on this crop for survival, the sight of empty fields is painful. Many now say they are losing not just their farms, but their future.
Last year, I made about 4.5 million naira, but this year, I haven't even sold up to 30,000.
They are calling for immediate help from government and experts to save what's left and prevent a total breakdown of one of Kano's most important agricultural industries. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
In this digital age, a few clicks can bring anything from designer clothes to home gadgets to your doorstep. But for many Nigerians, that convenience is turning into a trap. As e-commerce becomes the future of shopping, it's also becoming a playground for sophisticated scammers exploiting people's trust. Amina Ibrahim now reports.
You scroll through the social media and see perfect products at unaffordable price. The ad looks real. The website looks professional. The review glows. You pay and then silence. No delivery, no refund. Just another digital ghost. These scams are now targeting thousands of online shoppers daily, using stolen images, clone websites, and even influenced faces to appear authentic.
After delivering the item to me, I discovered that what I was looking for was not what I was given. So that actually made me not to, have much interest about it. I've gone around giving to like 4 different people, but actually there was not any help about it. I therefore contacted them, but they were telling me it's from the setting. I have not accepted to collect it back. But that is what I have decided to, make my request to them that I will return it back. If they will accept, fine and good. But if they will not accept, let it be.
They display several items for me, and the price is cheaper than the market. That was what encouraged me to pay the money.
But it's not just customers losing money. Small business owners are also caught in the crossfire.
Like we've had instances where maybe you order for your products outside the country, and when it comes in, they're getting you something else and telling it works exactly the same, just take it. And that's like a very big risk on your own end, because when a client just gets it and it doesn't work on them, that's the end of that client coming back to you, even referring the other people to you. So we always have to send it back. We have had issues like that when you order, which is why we always have to go by ours.
Jessica says scammers now copy brands, name, logo, and products to lure suspected buyers. For her, it's not just about sales, it's about trust. Every fake page damages years of honest work.
Get someone's trust by giving the right product. The person comes back next time. That's how you start making your money. But that first one that you just want to sell such a big amount of money just because of. So we should just try and help our life so that we don't lose our customers to people online that fake.
Expert says the surge in e-commerce scam reflects a bigger problem. Nigeria's growing online economy builds faster than its customers' protection system.
Companies need to sensitize their staff, because most time they try to go from some of these big organizations to see how we attack even government infrastructure. So I think education is key. R&D is important for every organization to ensure that their staff are actually up to date on understanding how security policies work. Then I think NIDA has a very vital role to play on certifying some of these platforms, right? So that a platform that we know is dangerous need to be actually publicized to the public that this is a very bad platform.
Japheth Johnson says many Nigerians are still unaware of basic online safeties. He explained how scammers use data analysis to target victims with personalized ad and warn against sharing login details or clicking unknown links.
Sometimes some of these platforms, the difference is just a dot or an N. Maybe it's MTN, you see mtnn.com. And you might not just even check that URL properly. And you just click and enter your details. And they will clone the whole website to look like the original. But because you didn't pay attention to the URL, you're just fast, oh, MTN, it just shows on Google and just click. But you didn't know that you're clicking on mtnn.com. Go in, you log in, they'll ask you for your Gmail, your password and everything. You submit, you create your order. They might not deliver, but what they're after is your login credentials. And from there, you actually see this kind of ripple effect of you being hacked here, you being hacked here. Somebody is trying to attempt your Facebook, like from where?
Legal analyst says the challenge is jurisdiction. Many of these fraudulent websites are hosted abroad, and tracing the criminals behind them is complicated. He advised customers to verify sellers, check reviews on independent platforms, and avoid payment links privately.
With regards to prosecution, you find it that most of our judges, they are not clearly informed on the applicability of cyber crimes. The laws itself is new, and then it comes with its own challenges of comprehension and applicability by judges. The other aspect is, even if you complain, they mostly hide their IPs and other locations. So it is mostly a futile exercise. What is expected of everyone is to conduct due diligence, compare prices, ensure that the address is reliable, the payment platform also is a platform that will be traceable.
What's emerging is digital battlefield, sophisticated criminals exploiting global system. While legal institutions struggle to catch up, victims stay silent out of shame, and fake marketplace continue to thrive. Until social media platforms and payments processors are held accountable for what they host, and strong cross-border cooperation takes hold, online shopping will remain a gamble in Nigeria's fast-growing digital economy. Amina Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Well, what they say is enough for the wise. And still talking business, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola has hailed President Bola Tinubu's decision to implement a 15% import tariff on petrol and diesel, describing it as a bold and decisive step towards strengthening Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector. In a post on his official X handle on Monday, Otedola said the policy was vital to protecting local refineries and sustaining investments in domestic production. He warned that decades of unchecked importation of cheap and substandard goods had crippled Nigeria's industrial base, including the textile, vehicle assembly and manufacturing sectors, noting that the same should not be allowed to happen in the energy industry. According to Otedola, the tariff will safeguard billions of dollars invested in refining infrastructure, create jobs, stabilize prices, and help drive industrialization. He added that the move reflects President Tinubu's commitment to transforming Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy. However, analysts caution that the tariff could push up pump prices for consumers in the short term. The president of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies, NANTA, Yinka Folami, has revealed that the federal government will soon end the sale of tickets in dollars by foreign airlines. Folami stated this while speaking on a cultural and tourism program in Lagos at the weekend, describing the cross-border trading in foreign currency as a crime against the economy. He argued that the move by foreign airlines was against the rules, adding that it puts pressure on the naira and foreign exchange. According to him, the challenges are now being addressed by the government following outcries by travel agencies over the menace. He explained that there is no need to sell tickets in foreign currency again in Nigeria, describing the practice as an outdated system that will fade out in Nigeria's aviation industry soon. Folami further stated why a country should have its own airlines to operate in the market and called on Nigerians to support air peace, saying the airline took the bull by the horns by launching its London routes from Lagos and Abuja. According to him, it is a patriotic responsibility for Nigerians to support and pray for the airline's success and sustainability. And away from Nigeria, Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan was inaugurated on Monday amid an internet blackout and mounting allegations of deadly post-election violence. The Electoral Commission declared Hassan winner with 98% of the votes, but the main opposition party, Chadema, which was barred from contesting, rejected the result, calling the election a sham and demanding a rerun. Opposition officials and diplomatic sources claimed hundreds, possibly thousands, were killed during protests across the country. Chadema said it recorded no fewer than 800 deaths by Saturday, though the figures remain unverified. The government has denied using excessive force, while schools, public transport, and some churches remain closed. Security has been tightened in Dodoma, Dar es Salaam, and other cities, with the reports of police conducting searches and detaining suspected protesters. Rights groups in neighboring Kenya released unverified footages allegedly showing bodies piled on the street, while Pope Leo called for prayers and an end to the violence. It's now time for Sports Update with Kabir Lawal.
The 2025 WAFUB Under-20 Girls Cup will kick off in Benin on Friday, November 7, 2025, with Ghana set to open their campaign against the host nation in what promises to be an exciting start to the regional tournament. In a twist to the competition's format, this year's edition will be played on a league basis, with participating countries facing each other in a round-robin format, home and away, rather than the traditional group stage and knockout stages. The team finishing top of the table after all matches will be crowned the WAFUB Under-20 Girls Cup champion. Ghana's Black Princesses will begin their quest for regional glory against Benin on Friday, November 7th, before locking horns with arch-rivals Nigeria in a highly anticipated clash. The Princesses will then play Benin again on November 10th before wrapping up their campaign against Nigeria on November 11th, 2025. The 6-day tournament, running from November 7 to 12, 2025, will see West Africa's brightest young female athletes compete for supremacy and regional pride. It also serves as a valuable preparatory platform for national teams ahead of upcoming CAF and FIFA youth competitions. Still on sports news, Nigeria will participate in the 6th Islamic Games, which will hold in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia from 7 to 21st, 2025. The National Sports Commission (NSC) said Team Nigeria will feature a 46-member contingent comprising 35 athletes and 11 officials who will compete in 7 sports, including athletics, para-athletics, para-powerlifting, weightlifting, wrestling, boxing, and taekwondo. The NSC Director General Bukola Olopade described the game as more than just another international outing, saying it is a strategic stepping stone toward the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. It will also mark Saudi Arabia's second time hosting the event, 2 decades after inaugural edition in year 2005. That's Sport News. I am Kabir Lawal.
The funeral prayer for renowned Kannywood actor Mato Yakubu, popularly known as Malam Natala, from the long-running TV series Dat Nkoa, has been held at the Emir of Fika Jumat Mosque in Potoskum, Yobe State. Malam Natala passed away on Sunday, the 2nd of November, at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital after a prolonged battle with cancer. Born on August the 15th, 1967, in Dambua, Regia area of Potoskum, he began his acting career in 1982 before the rise of the Kannywood industry. He initially performed stage plays in Jamaica, Adamawa State, before relocating to Kano to pursue his career in film. Specializing in comedy, he featured in many films alongside the late Rabilu Musa and Ibro. However, it was the That Nkoa series aired by Arewa 24 TV that brought him widespread fame, earning him the household name, Malam Natala. Well, may his gentle soul rest in peace. And that wraps it up on the news tonight. We thank you for watching. You can don't forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Good night.